Hello, I'm Counselor Ms. V, and you're watching Ask the Counselor Show. And I am here with, to my far left, Veronica, Belinda from Philadelphia, myself, Counselor Ms. V, Michelle from New Jersey, Ramona from Buffalo, and Marie from Buffalo. So we're here today to talk about a lot of things that's hitting our community. One being COVID-19, the coronavirus. So with that being said, so the coronavirus has just impacted the whole world, being the United States, being Canada, being Italy, being all over the place. And it's basically impacting Buffalo, New York, and Western New York, and New York State, and New Jersey, and Philadelphia. And there's been a lot of things happening in regards to the COVID-19 that I just want to ask a lot of the ladies here today, what's their experience with that, and how do we wrap our heads around it, and what's our fears around it, and so on and so forth. So what are your fears? How do you feel?
Well, I feel like it's not going to never stop. It's like it's constantly going on and on and on. I feel like we will never be able to get back to our regular lives the way things used to be.
Yeah, this is the new norm for us. Wearing masks, making sure that we hand sanitize, washing our hands, making sure we stay 6 feet distance, social distancing. Not having a crowd of people more than 10. And so, that this is the new norm for people. And so we have to adjust ourselves and adjust our way of living and adjust our way of being, and all of that. So again, how else do you feel about, all of this impacting us? The schools has closed. Anybody got kids in school that, no more classes. It's online learning now. The colleges is closed. I have a daughter that's graduating and going into college, and the last semester, she was doing online learning from home. So a lot has happened, and a lot has impacted our everyday normal living. So again, how do you guys feel about that? And it's a fear too. What fears do you have in going with that?
Well, for me, it's a major fear, because now we're taking the abnormal and trying to make it normal.
Right.
And now what we have to do, unfortunately, the virus is not under control like we was hoping to be, with 3 months in almost. And so now we have to figure out that we have to live our lives with this virus. So it is very stressful, but there are ways to combat that, just trying my best to live every day, day by day, and try my best to not let this just overwhelm me and drag my day down and make me very stressed. I have to incorporate things in my life to help with these stressors, to take the stress away.
Yeah. The everyday, normal, day-to-day routine is changed. Even if you take public transportation, that's changed. In Buffalo, New York, they're letting people on and off through the back doors. Indoor, and the cost is free. However, they're changing how transportation is being done. Even Uber and Lyft drivers, they have stipulations with transporting individuals with that.
And in my building, I live in a Buffalo Municipal Housing building, and so when we get on the elevator, we can only have 2 people on the elevator at one time.
Yeah.
And so we have to buckle down, and so my fear, it's a healthy fear, because my mom, she would be like one of the people who would be one of the people who could be very contagious for, catching it. And so it's a fear for me to, go out and when I come in, I have to make sure that I'm doing everything within my power, to
Right.
make sure that I don't come back and infect her. So, at first, it was very depression for me. I went through this depressed mode. So I'm coming out, a little at a time. So, where do we go from here with this thing? Because there's so many mixed messages, and about, you have to get vaccinated and you have to do this. And so there's so many uncertainties at this point. So,
Pre-existing conditions, what you said, Veronica, is a very big concern. I mean, people with asthma, and that's young and old. People with immune deficiency, a compromised immune system, that is a big concern. People with heart problems, that's a big concern. So it depends on your health. A lot of times they're saying, I think Florida basically is now seeing a whole bunch of younger people that, may not have the actual virus, but may be carriers of the virus, and that may carry that virus to an older family member or older, person, or somebody who has a compromised immune system or pre-existing conditions, and they may end up getting the coronavirus. So, I mean, what about testing? What about testing? How do you guys feel about testing?
I'm not going to get tested.
Testing can be very hard. You have to make an appointment. I got tested, and it wasn't easy. I went there, you have to make an appointment, and you have to have some symptoms in order to be tested for the virus.
What symptoms would you have to have?
If you got an achy body,
Okay.
fevers, coughing,
Like flu-like symptoms.
flu-like symptoms. So in order for me to take it, I had to lie and cough, to say, I want to take the test. But I took it, and it wasn't easy. That was a hard test to take.
So what kind of test did they do? If you can kind of...
They used a Q-tip swab that was about maybe 4 inches long, about that long.
Okay.
And they go into each nostril,
Okay.
very way up. Because it was
Yeah.
so far up, I felt as though it was under my eye. I could feel the pressure.
Yeah.
And then they went from that nostril to the next one. And you get your results back very quickly, but the test was not easy. It was very uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable or painful?
It became a little painful if you tensed up and then
Okay.
relax and let them just go up there and swab. But so that's where the pain came into
Yeah.
play.
But it wasn't only, I know the testing they said, and that's good that you went through it, and your test came back negative.
Came back negative.
That's good. So that's,
Yeah.
Again, when you're doing the test with the coronavirus, it may be uncomfortable, for a moment, but it's good, and it's good to have that release or release pressure of your mind.
Right.
Put your mind at ease, basically, once you got the test. A lot of people are having antibody testing done, and that's another thing. And I had the antibody test done on myself, and that is a blood test, and you get that those results fairly easy. And that's because a close family member of my family had the coronavirus, and I was in close proximity with that person. So how do you guys feel going forward? I know they say the new norm now for, and it's not just Buffalo, New York, it's not just Cheektowaga, it's not just New Jersey, it's not just Philadelphia. This is all over. Everybody has a new norm. So with the new norm going forward, how are we going to adjust to that? How are we feeling about that?
Adjusting to me is It's kind of hard because you have to stay on top of everything you do. You know, when you go into a building, supermarket, on the bus, you just got to make sure that you have everything on point, making sure you got your hand sanitizers, making sure you wear your mask, which is easy.
Right.
But on hot days in the summer, like we're going through right now, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And if you're not careful, you can hyperventilate, you know? Just trying to breathe and you're hot. If you already have, you know, some type of asthma or, you know, just breathing problems, just with the humidity.
Right.
It's really hard, but you have to do what you have to do. And what bothers me too, I'm on public transportation. I don't go out that often, but I do have to go out from time to time. And what bothers me is when you have other people that get on the bus that don't have a mask. And I know it's mandatory. They said on television, on the radios, make sure you have your mask. If you don't, you cannot ride the bus.
Right.
But these people are still getting on the bus with no mask.
Yeah. And that's
And that bothers me. And we're still in the yellow. When green come and people start going back to work,
right.
then and when the school kids start going back to school, I don't know what we're gonna do.
And,
You know, I don't know how we're gonna keep this, you know, under control as far as the amount of people that gets on the bus, the ones that don't have masks. I don't know what they're gonna do.
And a lot of times, I know they had a slogan saying, I wear my mask for you, you wear your mask for me. And basically, a lot of times people, like you said, Belinda, are very nonchalant about wearing the mask, especially young people. And it's so essential that you wear the mask and protect yourself. Well, actually protect, well, the N95 mask will protect you, but the regular mask will protect other people from whatever you have, if you have it. And they also stated that, you know, it's very hard. People wear glasses in the hot weather, you know, and you got the mask on, and you know your glasses is fogging up, and you can't see where you're going. And then it's about touching your face too, because you know I've had to catch myself various times. I'm in the tops, I'm masked up, I'm taking the cart, pushing the cart, and then I get back in the car, take the mask off. My hands are dirty. I didn't hand sanitize before I took the mask off. And then I'm hot because I'm sweating because I got the mask and my glasses. So guess what I do? I wipe my face. And again, I didn't just, you know, so I keep an alcohol spray in my car. And I just spray my hands and then hand sanitize my hands and then, you know, actually do my face too, because that way it'll kill the germs at least until I get home. You know what I mean? But we have to be mindful of this, and we have to remember that we need to do this because people are dying. This coronavirus does not discriminate. It doesn't care if you're white, black, rich, old, young. You know, it is taking out people. You know, and it really doesn't have a heart.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because like while we're sitting here amongst family, you know, like, you know, we're sitting here clustered together, you know, and we need to really be mindful about social distancing.
6 feet.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you kind of look under-eyed, you know, at your cousin when you say, you know, I'm glad I know that you're negative.
It's good to know. That's a good thing.
But like I boldly stated, I didn't get tested. So, you know, I mean, you don't know what my symptoms are, but you don't know about me.
Exactly.
You feel me? So we still need to be conscientious about that. You know, so we really, you know, need to make sure that we are protected, even though we are family.
Amen.
And so that's why I say that you know, I have to make sure, you know, because it's not about me, it's about you too.
Right.
And we have to be mindful of that.
Yeah, one thing about being mindful, like in Belinda's case here, the reason why she got tested is because we wanted to protect our parents. and protective because she was going to stay with them briefly before coming with us. So she got tested. I had antibody testing because my husband was an essential worker and he was around people who in the warehouse got sick. So, and he would come home and every kind of sniffle I got or whatever, or if he had a problem, I'm thinking we had problems, but we got tested and we never had exposure. So we had the antibody testing. So yeah, that's the whole thing. You gotta be mindful. And also too, doing those tests can hopefully give a little more normalcy where you could possibly be together and be a little normal until, you know, you still got to be careful, you still got to do social distancing, but still at that moment in time, you wasn't exposed, you don't have the virus, you can be a little closer to your family in that moment and continue with social distancing, wearing your mask and things like that. Yeah.
Michelle, can I just wanted to tell our audience that Michelle is a doctor, an eye doctor in New Jersey. And can you tell everybody how the corona virus has affected your business?
Yes, yes. It has been a very difficult challenge for all optometrists in the state of New Jersey and in the country. The states that was hit the hardest, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, most of us had to do a full shutdown. We was told by the CDC and by the Board of Optometry that we cannot be open unless you was doing emergency eye care. So most doctors closed because emergency eye care doesn't come that often. There's no reason to keep your office open. So we were all closed. But unfortunately, it's a very devastating financial impact to optometry, to most professions, you know, going on to anyone else, you know, hairdressers, barbers, all that. And it has been a struggle, but, you know, with federal help, grants from the state, you know, things like that has helped. Will help me to open again. So I'm very happy to know that and not to have a financial burden on me. But still, again, when we open, it's going to be a different world. We're going to have to, you know, change our ways as far as treating our patients, you know, to protect them, protect us. So a lot of changes will happen in the future. Yeah.
So again, it's help out there, you know, and you have to utilize your connections and the community supports that's out there to help your business stay afloat and help your business kind of weed through this difficult time that we're in. And we're all in, we got to remember that we're all in this together and we can get through this. You know, it may not be easy. It definitely will not be easy. We've seen this coronavirus impact families, impact businesses, impact education, our whole way of life, you know. So, but we just have to pull together, and we just have to stay focused, and we can get through this. Anything else, ladies, we want to discuss, or we definitely need to discuss, and we will discuss Black Lives Matter. I don't know how much time we have left, so we definitely will discuss this. You know, this has impacted, again, not only mainly African Americans, but Mr. Floyd losing his life has brought that to the forefront as far as, you know, Black Lives Matter. And we just want to just make sure that people are being held accountable for their wrongdoings. And going forward, we need to be mindful. We need to vote. We need to make sure that the people that we elect and have in charge is making changes for the people, not just a people, but the people in whole, and that's everybody. because we as a group have elected these people to speak and be our voice, and we just need them to do that, you know, and we need, in all fairness, you know, so that's a topic that we definitely will, you know, hit on. And as an African American woman and having African American children and African American son, you know, and nephews and brothers-in-laws and family members, you know, it's definitely needed. Black and brown people need justice and equality, and it shouldn't be stopped for silly stuff, you know, and people that, you know, just like I said, we're going to get to this topic. We're going to get to the thick of things, and I want to have on the show a couple of Buffalo police officers to kind of help, you know, kind of address this issue. And so again, that's to come. And also saying that my mother was stricken with coronavirus, and we lost her last month. So again, please be safe, please be mindful, and I'm going to also do a segment that I'm going to dedicate to her as far as grief and loss. And as a counselor, I definitely want to make sure that I honor her memory and help people that has had a person that passed away for coronavirus or for any other, you know, thing that has happened to them. So I definitely want to do, like I said, a special show in honor of her. So that is it for today. And I am Counselor Ms. V, and this is the Ask the Counselor Show. And thank you for tuning in. I'm on the air on Sundays at 1:30 in the afternoon, on Thursdays at 6:30. I'm on YouTube as Counselor Ms. V. And so hope to see you soon. I'm also on Instagram, Counselor Ms. V. So please tune in, please support me, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.